Welcome to the Propstore London EMLA Entertainment Memorabilia Live Auction. It's happening November 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's a 4-day auction live in London at BAFTA. It's very exciting. I'm very excited to be here. Dave's not here.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's sad, but also means that the show is mine today. So I'm the showrunner. I'm here with the great Tim Laws, whose title is
Director of Consignments UK.
There you go, Director of Consignments UK for the auction house.
Propstore.
Very good. This is the Propstore auction, and we are covering one of their most, I think, exciting mass acquisitions ever. This is the Costumi di Arte.
Very good.
Can you do it? Can you do
Costumi d'arte.
Costumi di Arte. I'm hitting the D too hard.
I think it sounds good. But even that name sounds amazing, doesn't it?
It's incredible there. It smells like marinara sauce. Yeah. It's very exciting. So it's this incredible collection. We have pieces that we'll go into detail, but Cleopatra, Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns, including Clint Eastwood stuff from the Dollars trilogy. We have stuff from Once Upon a Time in the West, Harryhausen films. There's a great Harryhausen crossover. It's an incredible collection. So Tim, tell us how did that all go down? How did you guys get in there?
Stevens had a kind of email relationship with the Costumi d'Arte guys for a while, and they've always had for 60 years, they've had, well, all recent times really, they've had a no sales policy. They're very much a rental business, very active, the go-to place in Italy. They're based in Rome, and Stevens just maintained a relationship with them, and just things have changed, I guess, since COVID. Maybe policies have changed, but we flew out there, had an amazing day. It was actually my birthday, flew out on my birthday. And we had an amazing day. They really looked after us, and they showed us, very proud of the Cleopatra costumes. They had them all archived and separated, and they knew exactly what they were. They've been beautifully looked after, and I don't think those have been rented since. I think they're very protective of it. But once we got in there, we started asking questions, and we had a kind of hit list of movies that we were interested in. Sergio Leone, for me, top of the list, but there were a number of other titles we asked about, and then they started finding the stuff, and some of this material they didn't even know they had, which is truly remarkable.
Yeah, incredible.
A lot of it they did, and they had some of their old senior guys going off into the warehouse and hooking stuff down because they knew where everything was. But yeah, some of this stuff they didn't even realise they had it until we asked and
started thumbing through the files.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
That's amazing. So we have on the far end by you, that's Cleopatra, yes?
Yeah, no, this one is actually John Cleese from Life of Brian, which is absolutely... No, it may have been used, I'm sure it would have been used on Cleopatra as a secondary costume, but yeah, this is John Cleese from Life of Brian, which is almost as equally insane as some of the other stuff.
Equally insane, but yes, perfect.
Yeah, so the Richard Burton, the most visual Richard Burton, I think, is the one at the back there, which is just stunning, and it's really the condition of it
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
60 years old and incredible. It looks like it was made yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's all done with the leather and metal and really
as they would have likely
in
Roman times. It's incredible. And then tell us about what this fine piece is.
Yeah, one of the Elizabeth Taylor dresses. And again, I think it's the workmanship and the quality that really stands out. You look at the kind of embroidery and the detail that's done there in the gold thread. Beautiful.
Look at the stitching. Dave said that a lot in the Game of Thrones videos. He was kicking himself over it. So I promise to highlight all the stitching.
You'll never be Dave. You can try. But again, most of these dresses are one of a kind. There's no point making two. I think there were 65 costume changes in that movie, which is the record at the time. And it's just I don't feel like today, maybe so much they go into this level of detail.
Yeah. Well, House of the Dragon tries.
I was just going to say, there's some pretty cool costumes on that.
But yeah, no, it's incredible. And I was also going to say that Cleopatra set a number of records, good and bad, during its time of filming. But this is the one that, I'm the most excited about. I think it's probably the one that you're most excited about.
I can't.
Come on down.
I'm still struggling to believe it exists. and we're standing in front of it. I mean, as you know, I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is, for me, the greatest Western of all time. Unforgiven,
Yeah.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a tough choice.
But The Unforgiven can't be the greatest Western of all time without The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Correct. I mean, that's all part of the story.
Yes.
You'd argue that Clint created that kind of Western and then uncreated it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. He built the stereotype in a way, or the archetype, and then deconstructed it, and over the course of his career. Yeah.
And this, obviously, the Duster, it's
Look at the stitching.
I mean, the Duster is Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is kind of a prequel. People don't pick up on that he starts in this costume. And he actually ends up in the poncho that you see in the first two movies. He kind of gathers that costume as he goes through the movie and picks up the poncho at the end. But the first hour or so of the movie, he's in this duster and this shirt.
The shirt's incredible.
Yeah, it's a very specific pattern.
It's very Blade Runner to me.
I actually was going to say the same thing. Yeah, it really, really is. And you know, there's a number of scenes where he's just wearing the shirt, but the duster is kind of the signature cowboy thing, which Leone really kind of. That became a stereotype for cowboys after Leone films. There were dusters in westerns before that, but Tarantino calls the duster the cowboy's armor.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that
became
a thing.
That's great. I love the little stand-up collar detail on it. It just makes it a little different.
Yes, a total custom shirt. I mean, there are at least two, I would say 3 or 4 shirts he wore in that movie. There are scenes in the hotel when Tuco's trying to hang Blondie, and there's a smooth pocket like this. Later on in the desert scenes, there's a pleat in the pocket, and there seems to be variances of that as well. So maybe 3 or 4 shirts, but you know, the fact that these exist after 60 years is incredible. And the maddest thing at all is this: the guys were looking for this stuff on the rails in Rome, and they found this duster on a rail waiting to go out on another Western. Literally the next day that was going out on set. Yeah. So the guys rescued it.
Yeah. Well, and that might go to way to explain why it's not screen matched. I mean, we know this is used in the film. We know he certainly wore it. If they made it, he wore it. That's the way that
everything
worked.
You know, it's the right number of buttons, the right spacings, the stitching around the pockets. All the pockets are in the right places. There's even a kind of detail on the back, which is I think I can spin it around. Ooh. There we go. On screen, you get a close-up of all of this is the same. But on screen, you see that this line doesn't match up. Yeah. There's a close-up in the opening where you introduce to Clint's character, and that doesn't match up. I can't screen match it. It's not the same. But again, that discrepancy is there on screen.
But if it was reused and washed and laundered,
absolutely,
you know, the things that you would look for to match could have been lost.
Exactly,
to time.
And undoubtedly there'd be repairs to it, ongoing repairs. Because this was a rental garment. You know, there was no consideration of its historical significance at all.
Yeah, the collection's incredible. Costumi d'arte.
Very good.
Arte. I'm not going to be I'm never going to satisfy the Italian there's quarter of my heritage.
There's people yelling at the screen right now.
It's terrible. It's very terrible. But Propstore auction, November 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, live in London at BAFTA.